Hey folks, welcome to Taurus season. In this video, I want to give you a heads up on what this season is all about so that you can work with nature and not against it, because why would you make life any harder than you need to be? So I'm really excited to talk to you about what April 20th through May 20th is all about, which is when the sun is in Taurus. So what is Taurus? This season, or the zodiac sign, is basically, it's an earth sign. It's super fixed. It's a fixed earth sign. So it's super, super earthy. Taurus is super, super earthy. And it's all about slowing down and building upon what you started in Aries season. So Aries season, everything was moving really fast. That was the beginning of spring. We were like, go, 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 make things happen. Try this out, try that out. Trial and error is the name of the game. But now that we are in Taurus season, we are slowing down. We're taking it into account what feels good, what seems right, and building upon that. So Taurus season is beautiful. This is the middle of spring in the Northern Hemisphere. This is when spring is starting to kind of be more stable, and we are able to enjoy nature, enjoy the outdoors, go and have a picnic with loved ones. Just really enjoy this beautiful season. And I'm hoping that you're getting all the sun time that you can get, and taking those nature walks and just appreciating the nature around you, because this is the time to do it with as much ease and grace. So yes, Taurus season brings about this. The sun in astrology, just to kind of break it down a little bit more, it signifies creative expression, our truth in the moment, our interest in the moment, what we see, and it can be like the light of the intellect. So our creative mind is really engaged in all this Taurus things, so Taurian things. And Taurus, again, is really interested in things that are beautiful, the tangible world, building, design that is pleasing to the eyes. Taurus is ruled by Venus. So Venus being in, let me put this up real quick. Venus still being in, actually stationary direct in Pisces could really influence this Taurus season. So Venus is exalted in Pisces, so she is getting everything that she needs. She's the honorable guest. She can provide beautiful insights, beautiful experiences, beautiful connections, and we will definitely feel this in the early parts of Taurus season. So this is really nice that she's here. Now, towards the end of Venus being in Pisces, she conjoins Saturn. So this is like April 25th. So around this time, 24th, 25th. This could feel a little more serious, but still she is happy here. So Saturn's there, just kind of like checking her, making sure the right commitments are there, the right contracts are set in place, and just remembering what you're committed to is the part of the conversation or the experience of Taurus season in the early part. And then she goes back into Aries. Venus will go back into Aries, let's see, on May 1st. And so that will also influence the Taurus experience. Now, when Venus is in Aries, she is considered at her detriment, but really here she is like not really expressing the stereotypical feminine traits of, cooperation and the willingness to submit and receive support, feel supported. When Venus is in Aries, she is much more of that Amazon woman, very independent, very strong, very direct, very straightforward on what she wants. She's not going to give this kind of like, I'll wait for you to, fill in the gaps. Like, I'm going to tell you what I want, and here, this is what I want. Are you going to do this, or are you not? If not, I'm going to move on and do what I need to go do. So that's like Venus in Aries. And so that could be influencing our Sun and Taurus experience as well, or Taurus season experience. So she, during this time, beginning part, we would be like, oh, what is our ideals? What are our ideal relationships? I love this connection. This is beautiful. I wish I had more. I want more. This is great. And then as Venus moves into Aries, that shift happens, and we're going to be like, okay, this is what I want, and I'm commanding this to happen. I'm demanding this to happen. And if not, I'm going to go and move on and find what I want that is actually going to complete my need of improving the quality of my life during Taurus season. So just be aware that that's what's going on, the big picture. That's what is going on during Taurus season. Now, starting to go back on April 26th, we have Mercury finally getting out of its shadow. Whenever it had went to retrograde, it stationed retrograde at 9 degrees Aries and got out, went back. Now it's coming back out and re-entering, or I should say, it's back at 9 degrees of Aries and moving its way out. So basically, this is like the time where we can fully integrate and move fast speed ahead with our Mercury retrograde lessons that we had to go through during March 15th through April 7th. So now we can implement, we can test things, and we'll get quick feedback. So you want to keep in mind like where Aries rules for you, like what area of life, what house it rules for you, because that is where we're going to get a lot of feedback from our trial and error that we were going through during Mercury retrograde. On April 27th, we have the new moon in Taurus. This is a time where we can reflect on the Taurus house of our lives and figure what has been bothering us here, what we would like to change, and then setting that intention so that as the year progresses, we are working through that. And when that full moon in Taurus comes around during Scorpio season, we are able to have that full completion moment and reflect on what we had, the intention that we set during April 27th. So this is a really big deal in that sense if you're into moon manifestation and being more in your feminine and honoring cycles instead of thinking life is just linear. So if you're wanting to honor that part of yourself, the more feminine part, then that's something to just be aware of. This is a great time to set an intention. So April 30th, we have Venus in Aries. So this, I already explained what Venus in Aries is about because that is influencing a big part of our Taurus season experience. But she is back in Aries and again, considered to be at her detriment. So this is kind of like, you can think of Venus as in foreign lands, and she has the audacity to be in foreign lands, either because of being exiled or wanted to go and travel, or just felt like just not belonging in a certain space. So kind of like just in foreign lands and foreign places, dealing with foreign people that have no idea what she's about. In Aries, these people could be very combative or competitive, very sportsy, and Venus being there is just kind of like, wow, this is out of my element. I want to have tea parties. I want to be relational and talk about how do you feel. People that are in the battlefield does not have an opportunity to think, what do I feel? It's more of like, how am I going to act? How am I going to get what I need? And think quickly. So Venus having to like deal with this is kind of really strange. But you can think of it like she's in foreign places. Maybe you're feeling like you're in a foreign place, in a foreign area of life, territory, and now you have to quickly figure how to build relationships that are going to support you as you're going through this strange period of Venus going through Aries. So Venus will be in Aries. I think it's about a month. So yeah, give it till June 5th. It's like up 2 months. Okay, so that's Venus in Aries, April 30th. So that's when she is back. And you can actually look back on March 15th and see how you were, like, what exactly you were wrestling with relationship wise, and how much you've grown up to this point till April 30th. So that'll be a fun little reflection if you need that, if you like to reflect on your past and how much you're growing and evolving. So look at your journals, look at your calendar, look at your photos, look at your social media. Now, May 2nd, we have Mars getting out of its shadow period at 6 degrees Leo, and Mars had went retrograde on December 6th. And now that he's back here in Leo and is stepping out of that retrograde cycle reflection period, we can now integrate with our lessons that we've learned during that retrograde cycle. And so that could have shown up about how are we willing to use our energy? How are we willing to listen to our anger? And how are we going to respond to it? So now that we are out of this shadow period, we can now be more constructive and using our willpower, personal willpower, to break new ground and help us shine and develop our skills and talents in Leo. So look at where Leo is placed in your chart, and you will find that you're breaking new ground here with Mars. On May 4th, we have Pluto stationing retrograde 3 degrees in Aquarius, and he will be retrograde until October 13th. So let me see. I think he, and then that's whenever it will just get back to 1 degree in Aquarius. So it'll still be in Aquarius, but yeah, so Pluto retrograde, this is kind of like a subtle shift because Pluto is an outer planet. And so this transit is very, very slow. And so these are like very, very subtle shifts, but very impactful, very powerful, shifting your perspective on life. So this is shifting your perspective on how you are using your power in with it being in Aquarius. It could be how you're using technology and your networks to get what you want. And also to, because Pluto, I think it's like an evolutionary astrology, it symbolizes the divine will. So Mars, personal will, Pluto, divine will. And so Pluto wants us to evolve. That's the intention of Pluto, spiritually evolve and overcome the trials and woundings of our ancestry. So we are now having this subtle shift on power dynamics, understanding how we're using our power, and with it being in Aquarius is understanding how we can partner with technology to our benefit of ourselves as well as other people and our networks. So we might be ruminating over what is taboo to us personally and understanding how and why it is holding us back from reaching our fullest potential, which again, Pluto wants us to evolve, transmute, or transplant us to a different, area, or I want to say tier of life, maybe even class too. So Pluto is very, very powerful. It can really transform you into one form and to another. Think of like the butterfly, like the caterpillar becoming a butterfly. So that's kind of like the process with Pluto, but that takes a very long time. And you may not notice on a day-to-day basis, but if you look back from the year, you'll be like, wow, I've really gone through so much and I have really changed. So yes, you're going to be ruminating over what's taboo to you and embracing it. It is the best way to go instead of ignoring it, because Pluto will bring up manifestations if you are ignoring these darker parts of yourself. So they might bring you Plutonian like people that could trigger you. But this triggering, remember, is to help you become more aware of yourself, of your mindset, your psychology, where you come from, and how and where you have power to become better, do better, and transform your life. So do your best to embrace that. If you're finding these, especially during the retrograde, so May 4th, you will feel that shift more. There might be some manifestations that happen, like dealings with people, of power struggles, maybe power struggles with technology, maybe power struggles with your networks, your friend groups, that might come up. And then when at October 13th of later this year, 2025, that would be that another shift going on too. So that will be more, impacting how you're feeling around these things. Especially if you are a fixed sign person, if you have any strong fixed sign placements near 1 degrees, 3 degrees of Aquarius. So that would be Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio. So if you had any of those placements, rising sun, moon, Venus, Mercury, Mars, any of those placements, or Saturn, any of those places, you will feel that shift in the earlier degrees of that sign, of the fixed signs. Okay, moving on to May 10th, we have Mercury ingress in Taurus. So there'll be more communications around how you can be more practical and stabilize and maintain what you possess and ensure your longevity of your quality of life. So Taurus, again, is very concerned about higher quality of life, higher quality of things, quality of people, company. Mercury is going to help us think around these things, strategize, communicate what we want, what we need with people that could help us, support us, and stabilizing and maintaining what we want to ensure its longevity. On May 12th, we have the full moon in Scorpio at 22 degrees. And this is a completion of intention we had set on November 1st, 2024. So reflect back on what happened around then. How have your sense of connection and intimacy has changed? Do you feel more open to people? Do you feel like you can connect on a more deeper basis with people? Or is there still fear around this? Is there still anxiety around this? Do you still hide? So reflect upon this. What is the new meaning around this? Do you feel safe with people that you're around? And then, just have this new realization with this full moon, how you're feeling about your connections, and what can you release to honor this new meaning here. So if you're finding that your experience is not what you want, the realization here is maybe you want better connections, and now it's time to spend less time with certain people that are not giving you what you feel you need. And or maybe it's time for you to be more vulnerable and open up about what you need, because maybe they don't know. So on May 16th, Venus will be out of shadow at 10 degrees Aries. And so again, this is another time where we can integrate fully and move full speed ahead with the Venus retrograde lessons that started on March 1st. So we're getting feedback about what we're willing to change in our relationships, what works and what doesn't work in a new context. And this is a more visceral kind of experience. So pay attention to what your body is communicating to you, and make sure that you are giving yourself room for agency to move in your relationships that are more honorable to the values that you have now that we are out of this retrograde and out of the shadow. So that is the vibe of Taurus season. I hope that this video has been helpful. If you are wanting more content like this, more support, or one-on-one readings, I am available to you through Patreon. Check that out. I have different tiers available that might support you with this. So I hope that this season of Taurus is going to be beautiful, supportive, and deepening of what you love. I will see you on the next video. Bye.